Welcome to another episode of Consumer Protection and You with Ryan Lippe. Today we're going to be talking about spring and summer home repair scams. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome to another episode of Consumer Protection and You with Ryan Lippe. Ryan Lippe is a consumer educator with the State of Ohio Attorney General's Office, David Yost. Ryan, it is a pleasure talking with you about all sorts of different things that the State of Ohio Attorney General is involved in helping us.
Well, thanks so much. It's great to be with you, Patrick.
We have a really good program on some of the scams that occur during the spring and the summer.
Absolutely. A lot of us do our own gardening and mulching, but when it comes to replacing roofing shingles, when it comes to trimming trees and doing some of those major jobs, we look to professionals, and that's absolutely fine. We just need to make sure we do our research and make sure that we don't make large down payments if we can help it. For big home improvement jobs, maybe pay a third down as a down payment, maybe save a third of the invoice for midway through the job, and save at least a third of the invoice amount for your final product. So you know that they have done a good job and completed the work. They go door to door a lot of times. The scam artists and the legitimate home repair folks oftentimes maybe even in the same neighborhood. So you're thinking, well, how do I tell the difference? Make sure that if someone asks you for approval to do a home repair or home improvement job, that you research them first. Go to the local Better Business Bureau. Go to the Ohio Attorney General's office. Do an internet search with the name of the contractor and his company or her company, along with the word scam or complaint or review. And try to make sure that you do that research before you ever sign a contract or commit to having them do work, or certainly before you pay any money. Again, a lot of the ones peddle their services door to door, so you'll know when you open up the door, if you decide to open up the door, to just be careful and to do research. And they're supposed to be, if they do go door to door, usually they are supposed to be giving homeowners a 3-day right to cancel. If they're a scam artist, they may not tell you about it. They may insist to start the work right away. But if they're going door to door or outside of their normal business location, like a home improvement show or a senior expo or door to door, that 3-day right to cancel is usually by law required to be provided. So it's sort of a cooling off period, and it's a time when you can take the opportunity to get more quotes and more estimates before you just leap at one person's offer to you. Because again, we do see a lot of scammers, and we call them storm chasers a lot, because a lot of times they'll start going into a community that's been damaged by a rainstorm or a tornado or lightning strikes. And they'll go door to door and they'll claim to have materials left over from a job down the road. They'll claim to be offering maybe even a cut rate deal if you would sign on the dotted line today to get that work performed. Be careful, take your time, do your investigation and your research. And it may even come down to asking them what neighbors they can give you to contact to make sure they're on the up and up, to make sure they really have done successful jobs for other folks in your community. You can get referrals from friends and family. You, again, go to the Better Business Bureau, go to the Ohio Attorney General's office. All of the complaints that consumers file with the Ohio Attorney General are public record. So if you ask us for all the complaints with a certain name attached for the company or a certain contractor attached for the home improvement salesman, we can furnish you whatever complaints we've gotten from throughout the country on that particular company. So it's very helpful information before you decide to start putting pen to paper and having them actually in your home or around your home charging you money for every job they complete.
Now, would you say that these scammers everyone that comes to your door probably is a scam?
I don't have any good statistics on exactly what's happening this spring and this summer. I just know that from history, as the weather warms up, we get more door-to-door folks selling all kinds of services and products. Some of those services are going to be for home repair or home improvement. But it is important to realize that some of these offers may be legitimate. Sometimes the story does pan out. And so before you give them any money, do your follow-up. Ask them for some references, call the references, see if they're on the up and up and have completed successful jobs. And if so, if all your research proves to be that they're legitimate, still get another couple of estimates and see if they're at a reasonable price for the services they want to provide to you. But certainly there are some legitimate home repair folks that may go door to door. It's only a red flag. It's not a certainty that they're going to be a scammer, but it is a red flag because a lot of folks, if they don't have a good reputation or they just created the business and may plan to scam instead of doing work, they do go door to door because they're desperate.
The things that I found, because I've had door to door people come in for a few items, and one of the things that I've asked for is business cards. Do they accept debit or credit cards?
Good idea.
Do they have, the references that you're talking about?
Sure.
And I found that most individuals who want cash, I'm a little bit more leery.
Absolutely, you should be. Or if they want the check, if you're writing a personal check and they want it made out to them instead of their company that they work for, that's a red flag. It's not all the time. I mean, there are contractors that do side businesses and do work on behalf of the company sometimes and on behalf of themselves other times. But before signing a contract or making a payment, check that company's reputation. Don't make large down payments. Again, pay in increments if at all possible and save as much money as you can for the end of the job when you know they've done satisfactory work and you've kept them coming back until the job is complete. As you mentioned, Patrick, good point. Avoid paying in cash. It leaves you with a limited paper trail if something goes wrong. And by all means, don't be embarrassed or feel like you're being too forward to ask for all promises in writing. Our specialists at the Ohio Attorney General's office they've even told me, Ryan, if they have a certain color roofing shingle they need put on the roof, get it in writing. If there's a deadline they need the project done by, get it in writing. So don't take anything as a promise from a home repair contractor unless it's in writing. And again, you should be getting the 3-day right to cancel if they're going door to door. And look for the red flags of a traveling scam artist. If the contractor claims to have leftover materials from a nearby job or offers unbelievably low prices, be suspicious. It may be something to jump at, but not till you slow down and do your research, get some estimates, and learn what they're all about.
Now, part of the home repairs also includes trees. We had one tree in our yard that, because of the weather and the age, it fell down, which left a stump.
Sure.
And we've had several individuals come in wanting to remove the stump. It was $75. And, since it was going to be right then and there, I really did not go through the proper check and things of that nature. It was one of those, hey, let's take care of that.
And, that's the one where, it may be legitimate if they're sitting there with the actual materials and the resources and the machine to do the chipping and things like that. But again, the other case is they may want the $75 up front and go to the next neighbor and do the same thing and then never come back to actually take the stumps out. So getting information in writing, making sure you know who's doing it along with their address and phone number and business card, all those things can be important clues as to whether you want to actually go through with the job. Let me give you an example of some allegedly unscrupulous contractors. We recently filed 2 lawsuits These folks have been accused of scamming homeowners who suffered damage out on the west side of Ohio, the Dayton tornadoes in 2019. And these two together, separate cases, but all in all, they scammed people allegedly of over $300,000, taking lots of payments and doing either shoddy work or no work at all. And they did work, and one of them collected over $200,000, but never delivered the goods or services, or did only minimal roof patching, in violation allegedly of the Consumer Sales Practices Act. So we've recently sued a couple of these home repair folks for not doing the job that they told homeowners they were going to do. And that was right after a tornado in the Dayton area in 2019. Some people may remember that bad weather. Are we going to get more tornadoes? Are we going to get more storms? Absolutely. And are these storm chasers going to do the same thing? Well, hopefully these two may be in jail soon, but they have plenty of culprits that are associated with them, I am sure. And if not, they probably have other people that are in the same scam business they're in. So just look out, watch out, do your homework. And if you think it's somebody that you want to partner with on a home repair or home improvement job, go to the search engines. See what happens when you search for the name of their company with words like complaint, scam, and lawsuit. We even have online, you can even search for company names, individual names, lawsuits we filed, judgments that have been rendered against contractors, including home repair contractors. So a really good resource for you is ohioprotects.org. That's www.ohioprotects.org. And you can see that we have databases. And if you want more information, there's an electronic button on the website where you can connect with us your request for public records, and we can get you more records, and we can give you everything that we've received about a particular company. The only thing we'll redact are social security numbers, credit card numbers, things like that, because nobody has any business peeking into that kind of people's personal financial lives. But other than that, all of our documents and all of our lawsuits are public record, and so are the complaints that individual consumers file, and what the result of those complaints have been.
If new business comes in, and I'm assuming that no one has filed a complaint, can we consider that they are legitimate?
It depends. They may have just been starting off as a scammer instead of a legitimate business. Hard to tell, because if we don't have any records of them, it means A, they haven't had any complaints from our records in our database, or B, they may have just started up and the complaints may be coming down the road, but not necessarily. Find out how long they've been in business, and very important here, good point to bring up, Patrick, is see if they've done business under any other names. If they say they've changed their names a couple of times because either they had reputation issues or they've moved to a new town and they don't want to name it, Lancaster Home Repair if they're now in Perrysburg. If they change the name or something like that, find out what they've been doing business under in the past and see if they had any complaints, because it's the same person running the show. So you'll be able to see if their reputation is in line with your expectations.
When we're looking at home improvements, it seems to me that there's basically just a few major ones.
We can even see things involving chimney sweeping, chimney cleaning, or air duct cleaning, where they may have a really, really low priced coupon in a mailer, but then they get to your house and tell you might owe more money, or they recommend certain things that would cost a lot more money that would raise that invoice price beyond what they had promised. That's not necessarily illegal, but if they have it in their plan that for every customer, they're going to add on a couple $100 to what they advertised, that's sort of an ethical issue, if not illegal, if they have a plan to do that for every customer, regardless of the condition of their home. So we do see some things with chimney sweeps and with air duct cleaning, certainly roofing, as you mentioned. Tree trimming is a home improvement area. Obviously, home remodeling is a big issue too, either room by room or interior and exterior painting. Lots and lots of areas of your home that you may wish to have improved or repaired. And that could even deal with insulation in the home. You might want to be more energy efficient and bump up your insulation ratings or the amount of insulation, especially if you're planning on staying in the home or the condo for a long period of time and you want to make that investment. Again, research your companies, go to the Better Business Bureau, go to the Ohio Attorney General's office, do your research, get more than one or two estimates, and find out from there who the best price and the best value is for the services. And again, if you get a lot of low ball estimates, maybe your job isn't worth a lot, but maybe those low ball estimates are suspicious, and you want to find out if those companies are legitimate, whether they truly have a good rating with the Better Business Bureau, or very few, if any, complaints outstanding with the Ohio Attorney General's office.
Do you see a lot of scams when it comes to pavements?
Sure. Yeah,
As
absolutely. Concrete and asphalt can bring complaints. Just looked at one yesterday night that someone had sent to me involving asphalt that apparently had diminished in quality, began chipping off, didn't hold up to what the contractor had either promised or what the homeowner at least expected based on their history. So we do get repavement jobs that go bad, or they say they're going to put asphalt down and they put, something else down, or maybe it's low quality materials they're using. Then concrete jobs as well. Is that going to hold up? Concrete's pretty strong. Are they putting enough down? Or is it the quality that you need? Is it mixed correctly? I'm the last person to give home improvement advice in terms of what materials to use, because I usually do hire folks and rely on their expertise. But again, before you rely on expertise, try to figure out whether they have that expertise by finding their reputation. And you can only find that out by their complaints at the Ohio Attorney General's office, their report card at the Better Business Bureau, some internet searching in terms of research and finding out their reputation, friends and family, neighbors, other jobs they can refer you to that have gone well, see what their history is, because you might expect them to repeat that performance for you.
You've been throwing out about Better Business Bureau. Sometimes when you live in a smaller area, there may not be as active a Better Business Bureau. Now, I know very little bit about the Better Business Bureau program, so I don't mean to cast any problems. They are an excellent organization, but when you live in a smaller area, do they cover that area?
As far as I know, there's a Better Business Bureau to handle every county that I know of in Ohio, and there's 88 counties. And so when you get down to Eastern Ohio and Southern Ohio, it's all regional for the most part. So I'm used to dealing with, for complaints that I have, the Central Ohio Better Business Bureau, but there are regions. So if you go to, I believe it's just bbb.org, bbb.org, you should be able to click on your state and get down to the region that you would be served under by that Better Business Bureau. And that's not to say they're perfect either. No organization is perfect, but they have at the heart and soul of their business, their nonprofit business, is to make sure that there's integrity involved in small, medium, and large size businesses. And as our mode of operation at the Attorney General's office, we want to safeguard consumers, and we want to protect them and enforce the Consumer Sales Practices Act and all the other laws that we've been given enforcement power to by the Ohio General Assembly. So we do have compatible roles, I think, in the process, and we just need to make sure people know about those resources.
Suppose I have a shed in the back It's a two-story shed in which I need to put in a new pair of stairs
Okay.
that lead up to the second floor. And I estimate that the wood is going to cost maybe $400. And there is an individual that says, hey, I can do that. What's my steps with him?
Well, first of all, you want to see potentially how much it would cost with competitors. So you want to see if there's other folks that you've seen advertised, or get a list of names from friends and family, or ask the contractor if he would provide the estimate, and then go further by asking other companies the same kind of questions you're asking him or her. Materials are one thing, but then there's the big amount of labor that may go into a job. So feel free to call up your home repair or home improvement retail store. Try to find out how much the materials cost. Obviously, that price may be a little inflated because they might try to make some profit on getting the materials as well, especially since they're delivering it to your home and they're working with the materials and they have to go buy it. But we do see, unfortunately, some consumers who get taken by scammers where there's material provided, but then they don't do the labor. They just leave the material sitting at their home or never even get the materials. There's a gentleman that we have in litigation right now who said they were going to furnish materials for pole barns and homes and all different kinds of projects, and he never provided the materials, did the work, or offered a refund. So we're in litigation with him, and that's through our economic crimes unit. It's gotten to the point where we may be asking for criminal penalties placed upon him for the work that he did in eastern and central Ohio. He also did some work in West Virginia as well. But you know, he's one of the alleged culprits out there that would get materials, or say they were going to get materials, charged consumers for them, never delivered the materials, let alone do the job that it would take to put the materials into place for the new home or the new structure. So it's buyer beware. So be very careful about to make sure you're getting more than one solid estimate, and make sure you answer all of the contractors' questions as well, so they know exactly what you expect, and find out a little bit about the industry before you start getting those estimates, so you know enough to at least ask good questions or talk to friends and family that have had similar jobs done. What went right? What went wrong? What are some sample questions I should ask each contractor to make sure they know what they're doing and that the answers are satisfactory to you before you start dishing out your money and your time?
So let's suppose that it's going to cost $400 in materials, and the total cost will be $1,800. How much should I pay up front? Should I pay everything at the end? What's some good advice?
Ultimately, it's up to negotiation between you and the contractor, but a legitimate contractor is probably not going to want you to pay 100% up front. And for big jobs, we would say that a consumer would be on pretty good footing if they paid no more than 1/3 of the total invoice amount as a down payment. It's a big job, maybe put another third down in the middle of the job so you know whether they've done satisfactory work and you paid them for the work they've done so far, and save that final third, or as much as possible, for the end of the job so you know they've done complete and satisfactory work before you start dishing out more of your money. And obviously, a good contractor is going to want to refer back to you and a satisfactory job they've done for you to improve their reputation even further. So hopefully it's a win-win and you get a good result with a good contractor for the right amount of money.
We only have a few minutes. What are some common things or pieces of advice that you would like the listening audience to remember?
Well, certainly you want to get everything in writing. And if they say that it's word of mouth and they just will shake your hand, but they don't want to put anything in writing because they either don't have time or they don't, it shouldn't be required of them, I would walk away. I would get all promises in writing. So make sure you have a contract. Make sure it's not a fill in the blank contract unless all the blanks are already filled in, because you don't want that contractor to go back to the office and fill in the blanks with things you haven't agreed to, but you've already signed on the dotted line. So get everything in writing. Know that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And check out resources that they have where they say they've done satisfactory jobs. Do your homework, check it out. And the most important thing is take a deep breath. Nothing is urgent unless it's some type of emergency repair. So take a deep breath, do your homework, and you'll be glad you did when you get a good job done at the right price.
The great pieces of advice. And if I need to check with you or the protection agency, what are my steps there?
Yeah, the Ohio Attorney General's office is available toll free at 800-282-0515. That's 800-282-0515. And our website's pretty easy to remember, www.ohioprotects.org. That's www.ohioprotects.org. Or if you need more information from other sections of the Ohio Attorney General's office beyond our consumer protection section, www.ohioattorneygeneral.gov. So ohioprotects.org, ohioattorneygeneral.gov.
Ryan, it's always a pleasure talking with you. You are just a wealth of information about keeping us from getting too much involved in scams. So I want to thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, and stay warm and safe out there. And if you follow some simple steps, you'll get a good repair job.
Hey, we're talking with Ryan Lippe. Ryan Lippe is a consumer educator with the State of Ohio Attorney General's office, Dave Yost. I very much thank you, and I thank all of your office for the good work that you do.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.